There's this constant battle happening in the NBA right now, and it's not just on the court. It's a fight between two really big ideas: the cold, hard logic of a business plan versus the pure, raw passion of just competing. Today, we're going to dive right into the heart of this conflict, starting with one player's story and ending with the entire league's multi-billion-dollar future.
So let's start with the situation that honestly looks like one thing on the surface, a classic strategic move by a team that's struggling. But as you're about to see, the real story is way more personal and way more serious, and it all centers on two-time All-Star Jaren Jackson Jr. Okay, so here's the deal, and it's a tough spot for any player. Back in February, Jackson gets traded over to the Utah Jazz. But then, during his physical, the doctors find something pretty scary, a growth in his knee. Now, he's a competitor, he still wanted to play, so he actually asked the team to keep it quiet. That's why he was playing on this super strict minutes limit, a totally legit, medically necessary one. He didn't play a single fourth quarter. And now, he's officially getting surgery to remove it, and the doctors were basically like, we have to get this out, because there was a real risk it could just keep expanding. And look, this is the most important thing to get right off the bat. What happened with Jaren Jackson Jr. was not a team trying to lose. This wasn't some strategy. This was a player dealing with a serious health issue that absolutely had to be taken care of. And that distinction is crucial because it perfectly sets the stage for a totally different conversation that's happening all across the league. Because while the Jazz were managing a very real injury, a whole bunch of other teams are being accused of something else entirely, losing on purpose. Welcome, folks, to the great NBA tank-off, a strategy that has become, without a doubt, one of the hottest, most controversial topics in all of sports. So what exactly is tanking? Well, it's pretty simple. It's when a team makes a calculated decision that winning games right now is way less important than winning them in the future. So they'll put less competitive teams on the floor, they'll rest perfectly healthy players, they'll make some, let's just say, questionable decisions during games. And why? Why would they do all this? Because a worse record means better odds in the draft lottery. And better odds mean a better shot at landing that one potential superstar who could completely change a franchise forever. But here's the thing that's got everyone scratching their heads this season. It's the prize at the end of this race to the bottom. As ESPN's Kendrick Perkins put it so perfectly, teams are tanking with this desperation you'd expect to see if a generational talent, a LeBron James or a Victor Wembanyama, was waiting in the draft. But pretty much every expert agrees that's just not the case this year. Let's just break this down for a second. This year's draft, it's considered pretty deep. It's got guys who could definitely become franchise players. Think someone with the talent level of a Brandon Miller, who's a fantastic player. But what it doesn't have is that undisputed, can't-miss, once-in-a-generation prospect like a LeBron. There's no clear-cut number one pick that everyone agrees is going to change the entire league. And that brings us right to the absolute core of this whole thing. When the reward isn't that guaranteed, game-changing superstar, is the juice really worth the squeeze? Is the prize you get for losing really worth the price of just not even trying to compete for an entire season? Well, it seems like the NBA itself is starting to think the price is getting way too high. This isn't just annoying for fans, it's a huge problem for the integrity of the league. And let me tell you, they are cooking up some pretty wild, some might even say radical, ideas to solve it.
I mean, the challenge for the league is a really tricky one, right? How do you stop a team from doing something that, yeah, it feels wrong and it's against the spirit of the game, but from a cold, hard business perspective, it kind of makes sense? Well, their answer might be to completely change the rules of the lottery game itself.
All right, so check this out. There are 6 big ideas on the table. First, limit how teams can protect picks in trades to stop them from just hoarding future picks. Second, a flat-out ban on any team getting a top 4 pick 2 years in a row. Third, lock in the lottery odds on March 1st. That way, all that late season losing becomes totally pointless. Now, the next ones get even crazier. Number 4, a tournament where the lottery teams have to actually play for the top draft picks. I mean, how wild is that? The complete opposite of losing on purpose. Fifth, stop a team that just made a conference finals from somehow getting a top 4 pick the very next season. And finally, number 6, base the lottery odds on a team's record over 2 years instead of just 1, rewarding teams that are at least trying to be competitive. Okay, so while the league's trying to solve this tanking problem, they're also looking at something massive, a huge business move that could change the whole landscape of the NBA: expansion. This isn't just about adding a couple more teams, it's about totally reshaping the league's future. Apparently, expansion is top of mind for the owners. They're already talking about the money, what the new teams would be worth, how it would all shake out. And we could get a decision as early as the summer of 2026. And get this, a really interesting piece of this puzzle, they might move a current Western Conference team, maybe Memphis or Minnesota or New Orleans, over to the East just to keep the conferences balanced. So who's at the front of the line for these new franchises? Come on, you probably already know. All signs are pointing to two spots with passionate fans and explosive growth. Seattle, just dying for their Supersonics to come back, and the new sports and entertainment capital of the world, Las Vegas.
But with all this talk of draft odds and billion-dollar deals and new cities, it's really easy to lose sight of the most important people in all of this. The players. The guys who are actually asked to go out on that court and compete every single night. And their perspective, well, it brings this whole conversation right back down to what's really at stake here. The soul of competition itself. And man, nobody put a finer point on this feeling than Kevin Durant. When he got asked about the effort at the All-Star game, he did not hold back at all. He called out huge international stars like Luka Dončić and Nikola Jokić, basically saying that when you see them jacking up shots from half court and laying on the floor, it looks like they don't care about the game at all.
And that, right there, that's where everything clicks into place. Tanking is a strategy from the front office about not competing to win. What KD is talking about is what looks like an attitude from players of not competing to win, at least in a big showcase game. It's really just two sides of the exact same coin, moving away from that pure spirit of competition.
See, what makes what KD said so powerful, so raw, is that he connects the dots for us. He draws a straight line from the boardroom strategy of tanking, this business of losing, to the on-court spirit of actually playing the game. He's hinting that a culture where not trying is okay in one area can easily bleed into another.
And this really cuts to the heart of it all, doesn't it? What does it even mean to be a competitor? Durant feels like he and other American vets get judged way more harshly for their efforts, and his whole career has been built on that competitive fire. It really makes you ask, what is that fundamental will to win, and should it be there in every single game, no matter what the stakes are? So all of this leaves us with one last big question to think about. In an NBA that's more and more about complex strategies and managing assets and billion-dollar business deals, who's left to fight for this simple, beautiful, and irreplaceable soul of the game?